Autism. It's a thing. And this thing, I feel like, is clowned a lot. I feel like people joke and make fun about autism a lot while they don't understand what it means. I feel like people always think weird things are like autism, and weird things are like, are associated with autism, which I sometimes like hear and I'm like, what are you talking about? So I would like to now go into what autism actually is and search up some stereotypes on the internet and talk about them, about like how they are untrue or maybe true, and to give you guys a bit more of a picture of what is autism. Is it really what people think it is, or is it just a way less heavy? So, yeah, I'm gonna take you it as an autistic person. Oh, well, I have autism. That's the first thing I want to talk about. A lot of people sometimes say that people are autistic, and some people get really offended by this. Some people prefer the term "I have autism" over "I am autistic," because if you say "I am autistic," you're making yourself the autism, basically saying like I am the mental disorder. I am autism, which people sometimes don't mind. I don't care. I call myself autistic all the time. I really don't care. But yeah, beware of that. That some people dislike it when you say you are autistic. Preferably just say you have autism. It's a better way, so you don't disrespect people. Thumbs up, yeah. All right, so we're gonna get into some stereotypes. I'm gonna grab them real quick. The first one is autism is caused by vaccines, which no, no, it's not. Autism is a kind of thing in your brain that makes your brain act different than other brains. Which cannot be caused by vaccines. It is caused genetically. So if your parents have autism, you can have autism. Doesn't always have to be the case, but that's one of the things that it could be. Or if you are born and it has some complications, you can turn out to get autism by the lack of oxygen when you were born or that kind of stuff. So that can happen, or it's just genetic. And for me, it's just genetic. A lot of people in my family have autism or a variation of it. So for me, it's just genetic. Autism is a childhood condition. That's what it says on this website. Autism is a childhood. That's not true. You have autism for your entire life, whether you like it or not. A lot of people, I have had this before, where I talked to a person about me having autism, and they said that they knew a person that was cured of autism, which it doesn't happen. You don't get cured. You can learn how to live with it. That's a thing that could happen. You could learn how to deal with autism. But you can't get cured. Even if you know how to hide it well, and even though if you learn it, how to hide it well, and how you can deal with it, that doesn't mean it's gone. That just means you masked it. It's still there. It's just not on the main, it's not there. You cannot see it that well, which you always have with autism. If you put 5 people in a room and one of them has autism, and you have to point out which one that is without speaking to them, but only looking at them, I don't think you could. Because it's not a noticeable thing. It's something you notice when you start talking to a person, or when you ask them about it, then you can see it, but it's not like something that is just obviously seen. Like, if someone has broken a leg, you can immediately see that they have broken a leg. With autism, that's not the case. But getting off track. Autism is not a child only a child disease. You keep it until like you die. It's just a thing that you have forever. And that's another thing that I do want to get into, which is that people think you can get autism later in life. Like, as in, you can actually get autism by, like, a disease or something. Like, for example, like how you get the flu. Like that you can also get... No, it's not like if you hang out with a person that has autism, you get autism. That's not how that works. It's, if you have autism, you have it from birth, and sometimes you don't figure it out from birth, but that doesn't mean you have it from birth. It's not like it just showed up out of nowhere and you didn't have it before. No, that doesn't happen. You get autism when you are born, and you deal with it for the rest of your life. That's basically how it works. Yeah. Alright, next myth. For this one, people with autism have special talent, or people with autism are very, very smart. This is not always the case. I, personally, am not Albert Einstein. I am not fucking smart. I'm okay. I know certain stuff, and I'm decently smart, I would say, but I'm not like the next Albert Einstein. I'm not extremely smart or anything. I'm just normal. I'm just like decent. It's not like I'm not stupid or anything, but I'm also not really smart. I don't know what people like, what it makes people think that people with autism are very smart, because yeah, some people with autism really are smart. You have like a people with autism that are extremely smart, but you also have people with autism that aren't as smart. And that's also something I want to talk about for a second. That's also a myth, so I'll just make it another chapter. People with autism are all the same. No. Autism is a spectrum. That means every single person that has autism can be different. And you have some, like, stuff that you can, like, if, for example, I'm gonna grab an example. You put 5 people with autism in a room. Then 2 of them can relate to having social anxiety. 2 of them can relate to being very smart. 2 of them can relate by having, like, issues with certain things, or, like, all of them are different, but they have overlapping features. So, like, 2 of them have social anxiety, and then 2 of them have issues with learning, and, like, then you can match those people all. They can all have, like, kind of the same things, but not every person with autism is the same. Not every person with autism has the same symptoms, and not every person with autism is like an exact copy of someone else. It's like, for me, I am very socially scared. I have social anxiety, which means I do not like talking to people publicly, and I do not like, to deal with that. But I am very social with my family, and I know how to, like, talk about stuff with my family, and I like being social with my family. But another person with autism is, like, totally not social and will not talk at all. That's the difference. I personally love history and am very interested in history. Another person with autism could be very interested in something else. That's also a thing. Not every person with autism is the same, and that's something I do want to make perfectly clear. We're all different. Just like how a person without autism is not the same as another person without autism. Like, yeah. Makes sense, right? Only boys have autism. That's not true. That's just not true. Like, there's a lot of people I know that are female that have autism. It's not a boy's disease. It's also a girl's disease. Like, I keep calling it a disease. It's not really a disease. It's more like a mental, not really disorder, but just a mental difference. So, like, it's not really a disease. I'm sorry that I keep calling it a disease. I shouldn't call it a disease. But it's not like sexist. It's also there for girls. Like, calm down. It's not only for boys. All right. Autism is caused by bad parenting. No. No. That's fucking dumb. No, it's not. Autism is caused by, like I said, genetics or something happening at birth which makes you lose oxygen or something like that. It's not because of bad parenting. It's not like other mental disorders where you're like mentally something happened to you, like PTSD or stuff. It's not like that. It's not PTSD. It's not the same. It's genetic. I can't help it. I do not have terrible parents. I have good parents. I love my parents. It's not how it works. That's kind of silly to me. Like, that people actually think that. No, it's not caused by bad parenting. I promise. Autistic people are aggressive. Once again, not all autistic people, or not well, people with autism, are aggressive. It's a spectrum. Like, all these have to do with, like, specific things. Some people with autism can be aggressive, yeah, but not all of them. I'm not aggressive. I'm basically the opposite of aggressive. But yeah, that's a thing I also hear a lot, that people think people with autism are really aggressive, because some people with autism can't really feel emotions of people, and I can. I sometimes have a hard time understanding the emotions, but I do get emotions. If someone's sad, I do get that sadness, and I can help them with the sadness. I have like empathy. I can feel empathy. And some people with autism can't, and that makes them seem more aggressive, but they're really not. It's like, some people surely are, but most people aren't. Most people are just nice. Like, if you have autism, it doesn't mean you have to be aggressive. Like, that's what I see with most things on these lists. Autistic people can become obsessed about certain things. Once again, a spectrum. I can get obsessed about specific certain things. Other people can't. It's a spectrum. It's different for everyone. People with autism look different. This one I do really want to talk about. It doesn't have to be that case. I think I already said about it. Like, the thing I said about put 5 people in a room and point out the person with autism. That's more difficult than you think. Especially with people that hide it really well. Like, I've dyed hair. For me, it's pretty obvious to see. I mean, once again, also really bad stereotype. Like, people with dyed hair have autism or are gay or stuff like that. No, not all of them. Like, I have autism, but that doesn't mean the other person with dyed hair has autism. That's not how it works, and that really angers me when people think that. No, I've dyed hair because I like it. Alright, but yeah, you can't really always point it out. It's not like a thing you can just notice in someone. It's not like I said with the broken leg. It's not like you could see something in a person and be like, when you've never spoken to them, of course, and you like look at them and be like, yeah, you have autism. You can't see it. It's not a noticeable disorder that you can see. It's not visible, and that makes it really difficult to explain to people. Because when I say my head can basically just shut down like a computer, people don't understand, because people don't know how it feels for their brain to shut down. And I do want to give a, like, I'll give an example of that shutdown. I can do that. I'll just give an example of that right now. So basically, see it like this. You are talking to someone, and for me, the best way to explain it, you're discussing something with someone, and someone brings up a very good point that you didn't expect, or says something that you didn't expect, and your brain basically just doesn't understand that thing, and you have to see it as like a kind of blackout of everything. All your thoughts stop, and you just stare. That's basically what happens to me. Like, all my thoughts, mostly I have thoughts all the time, and I notice everything, and every little sound, and everything that I can see or hear, it's all, like, entering my head. When my brain shuts down, like, in a moment like that, all the thoughts stop. Just for, like, a minute. It just stops. I stare. I look shocked. And then I come back, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that's how it works. And it's really weird. Like, if you don't know how it feels like, it's really weird, and you probably wouldn't understand it. You really have to experience it, but it's really just like a blue screen on a PC. Like, when a PC doesn't get something, it blue screens it. If an error happens on a PC, it blue screens. It doesn't work, and then it restarts, and then it's fine again. That's basically how my brain works in a moment like that. It just crashes, restarts, and we're back. That's how it works. And I think it's kind of interesting that my brain does that. It's kind of cool. People with autism don't have emotions. This is also one I briefly mentioned already. We have emotions. We can feel pain. We can feel sadness. We can feel anger. We can feel happiness. Some people just can't really express that. And I can express when I'm angry. I can express when I'm happy. The only thing I can't really express is, like, happiness with something I'm getting. Like, I find that very difficult. Like, for example, someone gives me something. Like, this is no spray that I have here. Like, someone gives it to me, and I'm just like, wow, thank you. I really like this a lot. I'm gonna put this on my closet. Like, this is really great. Thank you. And then I put it there. And some people then come up to me and are like, are you just sarcastic? Are you being sarcastic? Do you not like it? I have the receipt. Like, no, I genuinely like it. Like, I like the thing you gave to me. Sometimes I really hype up my how I feel about something. Like, when I get something, I'm really like, oh my god, wow, thank you. Because if I don't do that, people think I'm sarcastic. Like, no, I'm not. I'm not sarcastic. I genuinely like your present. I just don't really know how to express it. And people sometimes just don't understand that. And it's like, really, to me, it's really difficult. It makes it difficult to open presents in front of someone because you don't want to disappoint them with, well, they don't need to be disappointed because you're happy with the gift you got. That's something that really annoys me. And once again, it's a spectrum, so other people can probably be fine with that or have struggles with emotions. But no, I feel anger, I feel sadness, I feel loneliness, I feel happiness, I feel everything is there. It's not like it's just nothing. It's I have emotions. People with autism can't have relationships. This is untrue. I've had multiple relationships. Some people don't want relationships when they have autism, but also when they don't have autism, so that isn't really not autism thing. But more like, you can have relationships. It may be a bit more difficult because some people don't understand you. If you date someone that doesn't have autism as someone that has autism, people don't understand you, don't get what you're going through, and that makes it difficult. So if I have an error or if something in my head changes, like if someone changes a planning or something like that I made in my head, and I get a little bit upset because, yeah, that happens, and they don't understand, that can bring like that can bring fights and that kind of stuff. From what I have experienced from my dating stuff. But I have dated multiple times, and you can date as someone with autism. It's not like you physically can't have a relationship. You can. It works. I have multiple long relationships. It's just a bit more difficult in my opinion. Some people probably have it like very easy with relationships, and other people find it very hard to get them. But for me, it isn't that difficult. For me, it's normal. I guess for me, it's like it's difficult. It's more difficult than I think if I didn't have autism. Uh, but it's not impossible. Like, I'm capable of having emotions. I'm capable of loving. It's not like I'm not capable of that. Um, so yeah, that was the last one. Um, I want to say that I sometimes believe that people think that people with autism are just very strange and weird and nerds and are very like obsessed with other stuff and don't care about anything else but that thing, which is not true. Um, I feel like autism is still really misunderstood in this world. It's like it's better than it was. Like, don't get me wrong, people really see and now acknowledge autism. That's also why people are like, a lot of people are like, oh, everyone has autism in this day and age. That's because before we didn't acknowledge it. Now we do, so of course there's gonna be more people because we acknowledge the fact that it's there. Um, but I do want to say that autism isn't someone being a full-on nerd. Autism doesn't mean that nobody like doesn't. Autism doesn't mean you're only focused on one thing. Autism doesn't mean you can't feel shit. Autism is just that your brain works slightly different than someone that doesn't have autism. And that's it. Not every person with autism is the same. And of course, you have people that have a different variant of autism. Because, like, I don't have the worst version of autism. I have a mild form of it. But yeah, there is a difference between a mild form and a bigger form of autism. But not every person with autism is the same. And not every person with autism will ever be the same. It's a spectrum. Just please never forget that. That autism is a spectrum and not everyone is the same in it. Now, I'm making this video not because I care about anything like negative that's been said about it. Like, if someone calls me autistic, or if someone calls me a nerd, or someone calls me anything negative about my autism and about my experiences, I don't mind. For me, it's really just to spread awareness that autism isn't just this silly, haha, funny mental disorder. It's just people. And if you hate on those people for having autism, I don't really get it. I don't hate on you for your hairstyle, and I don't hate on you for what game you like. So why would you hate on someone for having something that they can't control? That's basically all I want to say with this video and what my message is. And yeah, I'm proud of my autism. It's great. It's great. I have this pass, which makes me be able to skip through theme park ride lanes, like the little queues. I can skip through them because theme park ride lanes, like the queues, are full with overwhelming stuff, so I can skip through them. That's the thing. You get overwhelmed really quickly, and for people that don't know what overwhelmed means, it's basically where your brain is so full you can't physically think anymore. And for me, that means I just have to sleep. After school, I mostly nap. That, like, people don't understand that sometimes. Some people really ask me, like, why do you sleep after school? Like, why are you so tired after school? It's because of all the things that come at you, and the same happens with gaming or watching a video or anything like that. If I game for too long, I have to lay down. I can't game for a lot of hours, or well, I can, but if I do, I'll be absolutely exhausted. Like, a few days ago, I played Minecraft a full day, and then as soon as I stopped, I went to lay in bed and instantly just fell asleep. It's like that. But I think I yapped enough about autism. All I just want to say is respect each other. Respect a person for who they are, And don't go hating on someone because they have something they can control. Alright, I think that was enough. Thank you all so much for watching me yap about autism, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!